Hello! Today we will be taking a look at the social change model of leadership development, which was developed in 1996 by the Higher Education Research Institute at UCLA, as well as some corresponding models and theories. First, let's start by defining social change. Most broadly defined, it is an event or action that affects a group of individuals who have shared values and characteristics. Social change also includes active advocacy for the cause of changing or improving society. These events, actions, and acts of advocacy can address each person's sense of personal responsibility to others and contribute to the realization that making things better for one part of society makes things better for society as a whole. Social change can easily be connected to leadership development. By looking at leadership development through a lens of social change, leadership becomes an inclusive process dedicated to change for others' benefit. So, in connecting the two concepts of social change and leadership development, we arrive at the social change model of leadership development. This theory views leadership as collaborative, purposeful, and value-based. Additionally, it promotes the values of equity, social justice, self-knowledge, service, and change. Its ultimate goal is change, intended to make a better society and world. There are several key assumptions which underscore this model. First, leadership is collaborative and inclusive. It requires participation from all members of the group throughout the entire leadership process. Second, leadership is a process and not a position. Leadership takes participation from multiple parties, and it cannot be done alone. It requires individuals to lead at times and follow at times. Third, leadership is based on values, which unite a group and provide direction for the change effort. The fourth assumption is that all students can do leadership. As mentioned before, the leadership process requires many different styles, personalities, and talents for a change effort to succeed. Therefore, regardless of who you are, you can play a large role in the leadership process. Finally, leadership is about creating meaningful change. The social change model of leadership development focuses on two primary goals. The first is to enhance student learning and development. This includes student self-knowledge, which will help them to play a stronger role in the leadership process, and leadership competence, or understanding how the leadership process works. The second goal is to facilitate positive social change in the group, community, or society. The social change model examines leadership development from three different perspectives or value clusters. These include individual, group, and societal or community values. The social change model examines how these three areas interact to create and enhance the leadership process. These three clusters contain the 7 C's of the social change model, which are the 7 critical values of this model of leadership development. They include consciousness of self, which emphasizes awareness of the beliefs, values, attitudes, and emotions that motivate one to take action. Congruence, or understanding and being consistent with one's own values, beliefs, strengths, and limitations. This is also interdependent with consciousness of self. Next, commitment, which is the psychic energy that motivates the individual to serve and that drives the collective effort. After that comes collaboration, and this is included in this model because leadership is viewed as a group process that requires collaborative effort. Next, common purpose, which enables a group to work with shared aims and values. It enables the group to engage in collective analysis of the issues at hand and the tasks to be undertaken. Common purpose is best achieved when all members of the group share in the vision and participate actively in articulating the purpose and goals of the activity. Next, controversy with civility, which acknowledges that differences exist within any group and that they can be accepted and resolved through open and honest dialogue. This requires trust within group members. And finally, citizenship requires that individuals must not simply be community members, but be actively engaged in the community. This acknowledges that civic responsibility works towards social change. You'll notice that consciousness of self, congruence, and commitment all fall under individual values. These are all elements that you individually can control and strive for. Collaboration, common purpose, and controversy exist within the group values cluster because they are elements of an effective group. You should work to ensure all of these elements are present. Finally, citizenship falls under societal or community values cluster because citizenship requires participation in a larger context. Notice that in this diagram, all 3 clusters are interrelated. Learning and development at the individual level helps facilitate the leadership process at the group and community levels. Likewise, participation in a group process enhances the community as a whole as well as the development of the individual. The 3 individual clusters of groups, as well as the 7 C's that fall under those 3 clusters, all work together to create change, which is the 8th C of the social change model. Now that we've examined the social change model of leadership development, we're going to take a look at the social change wheel, which acts as an extension of the social change model. The social change wheel is a model of community involvement which illustrates the primary purpose of civic engagement. This wheel is designed to illustrate how to create positive change in the community, which is accomplished through 6 main strategies. These strategies are used to affect community change through presenting different approaches to problem solving. The 6 strategies just mentioned are represented here on the social change wheel. We'll start with charitable volunteerism, which includes activities that address immediate needs, but not the conditions from which these needs emerge. For example, working at a soup kitchen in your community could fall under this category. You're helping address the immediate need of hunger, but you're not addressing the larger cause of that issue. Next, community and economic development includes activities that identify and increase the human and/or economic assets of a community. One example in this category would be teaching an English as a second language class. Third, voting or formal political activities mobilize influence on public policy through formal political channels. This could include the actual act of voting, or doing something like writing a letter to a legislator. Confrontational strategies include the use of confrontation or public disobedience to raise awareness or change policy. As you can probably imagine, this category would include things like protests or sit-ins. Next, grassroots political activity or public policy work involves helping people to identify allies, build common ground, and implement a strategy for changing public policy. This could include things like organizing a community agency to participate in shaping policy. Finally, community building involves building trusting relationships among individuals and groups around issues of common concern. An example might be participating in a community organization. It is important to note that we need all 6 strategies to create societal change. None is most or least important. Rather, it is critical to learn about ways that you can contribute in each of these 6 ways. In conclusion, the social change wheel and the social change model of leadership development have several applications to leadership potential. Every individual has the capability to be an agent of positive, meaningful change. Effective leaders are those who can engage with others to create this change. Additionally, both of the models presented teach students to be effective leaders through outlining the processes for engagement in social change activities and issues. Overall, it's important to remember that the process of civic engagement is crucial to effective leadership.